Hi. Now, there's a documentary on BBC iPlayer. I think it's probably going to go out, if it hasn't been out already, on BBC 4. And it's called The Summer of Love, How Hippies Changed the World. And it's very detailed. And, you know, the academics have somehow systematised the hippie movement into 3 streams or 4 streams. You know, this is what academics do, isn't they? They take something, a phenomenon like the hippie movement, and then they take it apart and then they examine the parts. I'm not 100% convinced by it because, I mean, they haven't mentioned Timothy Leary, and I think he was quite a big part of it all. Anyway, it's reasonable. It's reasonable. But one thing that hasn't been taken into account is the fact that America was or is a deeply Christian culture, and there's a very strong belief in another world. If you have a culture which doesn't believe in an other world, I don't know what culture that could be, possibly France, I don't know. You know, a more secular culture where they believe that this world is the world, you know, it is, there's no dualism. There's always a sort of thing with Christianity that there's this other world. And I think even in Buddhism, you know, there's a tendency to think there's another world when actually there's one world. Okay, you may have experiences in this one world, but they're not detached from this world. So people who sort of find reality by taking an LSD trip, lysergic acid, and then they think that is the real world, because there is another world, yeah, and the other world is the real world, yeah. No, sorry folks, this is the world, this is the real world, and the other world is a fantasy. So that's one thing that I've never heard mentioned, you know, this need for a dualism, and I love the idea of one world, not one world without boundaries, but, you know, believing that this world is the world. This world is enough. We can have experiences enough in this world. You know, it's fantastic if we go about it the right way. And I suppose the hippies had some good things and some bad things. I wonder how many of them what proportion of them are still, you know, living, you know, a very high mortality rate, I think. Right, bye for now.